This hour for you on Daybreak, at least one adjustment is made to Springfield's mask ordinance last night. We have the breakdown of what's going to happen there.
Plus, Mercy Hospital began giving vaccines to healthcare workers across the state yesterday. We'll tell you what those who were first in line had to say about it.
Also, we'll introduce you to a professor at MSU using technology to help her students learn more about teaching in other cultures. It's all this hour for you on Daybreak.
Good morning and thanks for starting your day with us. Today is Tuesday, December 15th. I'm Jennifer Abreu.
And I'm Joe Morano. A lot to get to for the next hour. So let's start it off by checking in with meteorologist TJ Springer. He is here this morning bringing us the forecast first. And when you see his 7-day up, you see a lot of lows in the 20s happening.
Yeah,
I know,
it goes,
right?
whoop.
It's kind of a roller coaster ride, guys.
Especially when we are waking up. It's like the lowest of the low when we are waking up.
Very true.
It's hard for us because it's so cold and our cars are freezing when we have to get in. It's just like, do we have to make this drive right now? Do we have to do it? We are tracking another chance for some snow, too. But I wanted to talk about, of course, this big weather headline, and just a headline in general. Christmas, hard to believe, 10 days away. Next week, the big man taking his wintry ride. We're going to have to deal with some snow. I think maybe put you in the holiday spirit over the weekend. Today, we're going to deal with the possibility of it again. We are quiet in Springfield right now, looking westward. We're going to see clouds staying thick as we progress through our Tuesday. Satellite and radar showing some snow showers trying to sneak onto the scene. Far western reaches of our map view here in Kansas and Oklahoma, really out toward Colorado and the panhandle of Nebraska. And Texas, too, for that matter. Temperatures are cold. That will support the snow as it moves on in. We're not expecting a lot. Temperatures are in the lower 20s in Lake Ozark, Springfield at 27, and Branson currently in the upper 20s, too. It feels all the more worse when you factor in that light wind from the southeast around 5 to 10. I put the question mark for the snow for the evening commute. We'll give it the green light. We're not expecting a big impact event, but the possibility of it, grab something warm to hold on to this morning because of that cold air. We'll have an hour-by-hour look, of course, at that snowfall, guys, coming up in just a little bit.
All right, TJ, thanks. And last night, the city of Springfield passed an extension to the masking ordinance. It is now set to expire on April 9th of 2021.
It passed with an 8-0-1 vote, that one being Councilwoman Phyllis Ferguson, who recused herself from the vote. There is one adjustment to the previous ordinance that's been in place that would exempt people taking part in a baptismal ceremony. This will be the second extension to the original masking ordinance that was initially set in July. Coming up today at 10 o'clock, there will be a health department news conference to discuss the details of this ordinance. We've got those updates coming your way, both online and on Color 10 midday.
In our delivering the dose coverage, the first vaccines were given to frontline workers in Springfield yesterday. Patient-facing healthcare workers at Mercy Hospital received the Pfizer vaccine. Registered nurse Wanda Brown was the first to receive one of the almost 6,000 doses that arrived at Mercy.
3, 2.
We're making history. We're part of history now. We work in an area where we're high risk, and so now I can feel like I'm doing even more to protect my family.
Mercy Hospital staff is expected to be able to vaccinate up to 800 healthcare workers per day.
And over in Mercy Hospital in St. Louis, 20 healthcare workers received that Pfizer vaccine yesterday. One doctor spoke about how important this moment is.
We talk about where we were during 9/11. People in this room and this community will remember where were you when this first COVID-19 vaccine happens, because it's going to be the game changer that gets us out of it.
Governor Mike Parson said Missouri is expecting more shipments to come in throughout the week. There are 21 storage units across the state of Missouri that will be storing those vaccines.
And employees at NEA Baptist Memorial Hospital in Jonesboro, Arkansas, were some of the first in the country as well to be vaccinated yesterday. Employee vaccination began immediately with 10 people getting it. Hospital administrators say the process took about an hour to administer all 10 shots. Randy Baker, who works in the ICU around COVID patients every day, was eager to get his shot in the arm.
I'm just glad to have it done because we work with them all the time, so we want to be, able to stay around and take care of these people.
The hospital has 975 Pfizer vaccines. It's expected to take them several days to get through this round of vaccinations.
For the latest coverage of this coronavirus vaccine and more, head on over to ozarksfirst.com. Click on the COVID vaccines update at the top. You can also find our own half-hour show we performed or put on for you on Friday, talking about what is needed and what you need to know about delivering the dose there. Moving on to some education coverage for you this morning. Missouri State hopes to help future educators increase their cultural understanding. Nigel McDonald met with this professor to tell us how it's getting done. Take a look.
Missouri State professor Janice McCafferty-Wright is using virtual learning as a way to globally connect her students.
Instead of thinking about it as distance learning, to unlearn certain distances and to get a little bit closer.
To other teachers as far as North Africa.
We just completed our first official virtual exchange. It was 4 weeks long. By the accounts that I've read so far, it was a highlight of our students' semester.
McCafferty-Wright says teaching requires a better understanding of the world.
A lot of teachers are going from what I call diversity deserts. Everybody in the community looks like them. They're coming from these environments and then they're going back to teaching them. And it's really cool that they can understand and connect with the importance of their students' local cultures and who they are. But teachers need skills for connecting globally too.
Mamia Hamdi is a first-year teacher in Dakhla, located just south of Morocco, and participated in the virtual exchange program.
What I like most about this program that it's not only about preparing lessons and teacher stuff. We make friendships there. We learn about each other. We talk about culture. We share our music.
Missouri State student Mackenzie Johnson also participated in the program.
And I'm like, why do we have to end this? There's so much more to learn. And now my bucket list is to go to Morocco and just to experience their culture and meet my friends that I met via Zoom.
Missouri State is one of only 17 grantees to receive funding for a virtual exchange program.
We are tracking our next storm system, and this one going to turn into an all-out nor'easter out toward the mid-Atlantic. It's going to bring us some snow here to the region. We'll take an hour-by-hour look coming up next. Don't go away.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Jennifer Abreu, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist TJ Springer. This is Color 10 News Daybreak.